Thank you very much. Hello everyone, good morning, and thank you so much for MMA Global Indonesia for having us here. Very grateful and really happy to be sharing the same stage with Edwin and Diaz from Tokopedia and Gojek here. And yeah, very interesting introductions also before.
Yeah, the fun fact is really
exactly
embarrassing, but it's okay.
Ya, apa kabar Edwin, Diaz?
Baik.
Oh, good, baik.
Okay, so we'll conduct it in a mix of Bahasa Indonesia and English just to make it easier for everyone. But it's going to be a very exciting sessions because we all know that the e-commerce users in Indonesia has been increasing, and not just in Indonesia but also globally, right? And especially that we're now sitting like with the one of the largest e-commerce and on-demand platform in Indonesia, Tokopedia and Gojek. And I would like to start with Tokopedia first. Like with the increment of all these e-commerce users in Indonesia, especially that with the latest We Are Social data, we're seeing like there's a lot more users buying consumer goods in Indonesia, which is reaching like around 120 million something. And it's been increasing for 21% year-on-year growth, so it's amazing numbers. Have you seen the same thing for Tokopedia?
Yeah, good questions, Meu. Yes, definitely we see the same trend that's happening on our platform, right? And I think if we reflect in the past couple of years, pandemic really kind of skyrocket that kind of movement towards digital and also e-commerce platform. Specifically for Tokopedia, I think we have added tens of millions of users, but most importantly, as our mission to support, the small medium businesses, we have seen an additional of 4.8 million new merchants that come to the platform, and in total it's 12 million. But I think here the most interesting trend is that when we look at e-commerce in the past, let's say 5-10 years, right? It's just for people to purchase, vanity items, for example, fashions, pernak-pernik ya mungkin. But now that with the pandemic, we have seen that people in Indonesia, they almost shop for every single product categories, from grocery that you typically don't buy online, from household items and check. Yeah, what's interesting for me is that 2 years ago when we start pandemic, right, year of 2020, in the first couple of months, we have seen massive shift in the way people purchase items. Like I mentioned earlier, household needs, grocery. The first 2 months, we have moved around 100 tons of beef. Who would have thought, right? People buy beef on Tokopedia.
Okay.
And every 42 minutes, Tokopedia turnaround for hand sanitizers is 72,000 units. So I think that kind of shows the entire trend that have moved to the e-commerce platform. And as we look forward, we are very optimistic that this will continue, as data from Asosiasi Penyelenggara Jasa Internet Indonesia, they said that we have added 60-70 million internet users in Indonesia in the past 2 years. So we are very optimistic that this trend will continue to grow, as well as data from Google, Temasek and Bain, right? E-commerce this year we're going to it's predicted estimate $59 billion worth, but in the next couple of years, which is 2025, it's going to be $95 billion industry, which is 61% growth in the next 3 years. So we are very optimistic about that.
Wow, very mind-blowing numbers. Thank you so much, Edwin, for the insights. And then I also have very interesting numbers about Gojek, which we see like about the online car rental in Indonesia even is still increasing even during the pandemic, or when the government is just like limiting all mobilizations. But then also on top of that, there is also, of course, the increment of online food order in Indonesia, which is reaching to more than 800 million US dollars in transactions. That's like in rupiah around 5 trillion. Imagine, I think I've been contributing a lot, like buying all nasi goreng and gorengan.
Me too.
Yes, for 5 trillion transactions already for online food order. It's crazy because it's been increasing also like around more than 300 million US dollars year on year. So people are more and more buying, but then also like still going out and doing all of this. And Gojek, I think, has been contributing a lot for that as a big player. So how do you see the strategy, or what's the success behind it, and how is your takeaway for that?
Thank you, Meu. Basically what we do, right, we understand that during the pandemic, people are forced to adapt on certain limitations. And what we do is we want to bridge that limitation. So from the user's point of view, we keep improving our services to them by giving personalization. And then we provide more and more services, more and more items to sell within our ecosystem. And we also improving our features. And then for the businesses, the sellers, we also give them a lot of options and tools basically to help them to grow their businesses within our platform. So we provide them with value-added services like product directory, consumer engagement tools, ads platform in GoPromo, and then data analysis as well. So we help them in understanding their business and how to grow within our ecosystem. So if, for example, right, within every day, on average, we have about 3 million people browsing through our app, trying to find the right food to consume, checking promotions, etc. And this is a large number of users that can be tapped by business and brands when they want to interact with our users, right? So for example, we recently did a campaign with RTD brand where they put a ads banner in GoFood, and only with that banner they can generate up to 100,000 clicks per day just by that banner. So the user engagement really is very high.
Nice. That's speaking about like this internet marketing for them, and how Gojek is helping and enabling like all kind of merchants from small, medium to big business to be able to promote their products.
Correct.
It's very interesting because lately, I mean, people only knowing about maybe doing search and social. I mean, the internet industry has been always dominated by those. Actually, there are more that we can actually elevate from all of the assets that are out there, especially that is more precise, for example. And even like according to Work Global Advertising data, there is like around 58.5 million US dollars at investments in the marketing, digital marketing. How do you see this trend actually?
We see quite an increase, especially the past year within our platform in GoPromo. And what is very interesting from my point of view is that not only the investment amount increase, but also the players. So we see a huge increase of players from small, medium industries. So all the GoFood merchants, the local UMKM, they are now participating in digital marketing. These are the people who before barely use marketing strategies or never did marketing strategies. Now they not only do marketing activations, but they also do it in a digital platform. So it's a very encouraging trends that we see.
Exactly, because this increment is actually happening more on the retail media, which is like e-commerce or the on-demand platform. Does it happen also the same for Tokopedia?
Yeah, most definitely. From Tokopedia side, in the past 2 years alone, right, I think we have seen a very tremendous growth in terms of the amount of investments on advertising on our platform. It has grew by 17-fold, and the amount of brands and also mid-market or medium-sized business have increased by 30-fold in terms of how much they invest on the platform.
Yeah.
And I say that with a lot of humility, right? Because that's the amount of trust that these businesses have on our platform. So I think, as earlier we talked about, macroeconomy, global supply chains, disruptions, weakening purchasing power, and all that. So based on our conversations with a lot of CMOs, brands, right? They try to maximize the investment that they have, trying to make it more efficient and effective. So that's why Tokopedia, we invest in building our marketing solutions to really answer the need of this business. Yeah.
Yes, and but then those are like all the increment. I'm sure like also like the economy and especially the next year where we're still like there's a lot of rumors about the recessions and all that. It's also there's a lot of challenges in these situations. Whereas like we see a lot of brands are also maybe some of them are having like troubles with the operational costs, with the global distribution chains and many other things, and also like. When we see the data before from the previous sessions with Google, it's showing like how the consumers are becoming more and more selective within their buying journey, which makes like a lot of brands are a bit hesitant or even like cutting off their budget, like their investment. And of course, when we are speaking about budget deficiency, they will talk first about the marketing budget. And how do you see, or how do you help brands which are more careful in their spending or even like decreasing their budget, something like that? You want to go?
Yeah, I can start first. Yes, that's very true. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, brands are very careful in investing their budget. Some of them also decrease their budget. But I think one of the reasons why, as an e-commerce platform, we can still see growth is the fact that as an e-commerce platform, we tend to be closer with the consumers because either they're in the discovery mindset when they come to the platform to find good deals, good products, and or they already have a very high intent to search for something, right, when they come to the platform.
Yeah.
So in terms of the solutions that we offer advertisers and brands, right, we want to make sure that they get the best return on investment that they can. So from the marketing solutions team point of view, right, we really try to capitalize on all these trends, and data play is very important. So
exactly, yeah.
When we talk about efficiency, right, being able to target the right people at the right time, at the with the right offer, as mentioned by Google earlier, it is at the core of what we do in Tokopedia marketing solutions, right? And the kind of data that we offer when it comes to personalizations is very important. We are not just trying to find modeling of people who probably like smartphone, who probably like certain items, right? These are the real people that have viewed certain products category, or they have purchased a certain smartphone in the past. They have paid using GoPay, and so on and so forth, right? So these are all of the backbone that powers our advertising technology. So that's why I would say that's how we help our merchants for them to be successful and make it more efficient in their investment.
Yeah, I think it's the same with Gojek, right? Because when we try to optimize the budget that the merchants and advertisers have, we see the trend that advertisers are trying to focus more and more towards conversion.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, I think the limitation right now is that not a lot of platform offering full funnel from awareness to conversion.
Yeah.
But Gojek and Tokopedia has this ability to provide that. So when advertisers come to us, they can do everything from awareness, building awareness, turning it into considerations, and then eventually turning it into conversion.
Yeah, this kind of like personalizations and the full funnel marketing is very interesting because especially with this new, a lot of like policy concerns, user tracking and brand safety and all that, how Gojek and Tokopedia differentiate the platforms compared to other like search or social engine, and yeah, how do we precisely, like what is the very precise personalizations in this targeting?
Okay, in Gojek we built this Go Promo ads platform, which is based on first-hand relationship between us as a platform and consumers. So what we do is we, like Edwin said earlier, that we learn from their past transactions, historical transactions, so we know exactly who buys what. Yeah, and based on that, we do our marketing activations, targeting the right users based on their transaction. And that allows us to do all marketing campaigns within the user tracking regulation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we provide advertisers with the right audience segmentation, and at the same time giving personalization to the audiences themselves.
That's amazing. So we can target like people who already make certain transactions on certain merchant with certain interests as well. Correct. Having certain numbers on their GoPay wallet, maybe?
Correct, that's true.
Amazing. How is about Tokopedia?
Yeah, I'll try to answer this in two parts, right? The first one is the data part. I feel like when we speak about data and purchase history and whatnot, right, it's very sensitive
It's very sensitive,
subject,
exactly.
right? So I just want to highlight that at Tokopedia and GoTo as a group, right? We invest heavily in ensuring our security is up to the global standard, right?
Nice.
Even more so than the current regulations that's currently present in Indonesia. So I think from our Data Protection Security Office, we have got the certifications ISO 27001 and
Nice.
ISO 27701. So what that means is that our data privacy management has been at the global standard. So that's one. Now I'll answer the second part, which is how do we differentiate ourselves, right? I kind of touched upon this earlier, right? Which is the advanced targeting that we offer. You really target people based on the exact persona, right? Not guesstimations, not based on models, right? That's pretty straightforward. But the second differentiations, which I think really resonate with marketing people, is the measurement part, right?
Exactly, yeah.
People don't want to invest on something that just you guess whether it works or not, right? And I think that's the unique selling point of platform like Gojek and Tokopedia, is that we can measure not just the upper funnel, right?
Yeah.
Typically, if you're in the media, it's the CTR and
Yeah.
impressions, view, and whatnot, which is great, right, as a proxy. But what we can offer as a differentiations is the amount of insights, what people buy, how much do they buy, how many units, what specific product. So I think that's really resonate well with a lot of people. Now, personally, it's easy for me to sit here and say we are the best or whatnot, right? But I don't think that's the case, right? When it comes to marketing, different platforms have their own unique selling propositions, and it's all just touch points, right? So I think Tokopedia and probably Gojek, we're just one part of this big machine, right? And also personally, not just me as a person who sells our marketing solutions, I'm also, other than employee of Tokopedia, I also have a very small business, right?
Oh.
So I actually use our own solutions and kind of seen the result firsthand, right? So for me, is that the fact that using our marketing solutions or even being present on Tokopedia, I was able to sell my products to people in Semarang or in Makassar, and I think that's not only we answer the need of having more efficient marketing, but also the reach and the cost-saving factors of not opening, let's say, retail stores or all this, right? And I think this is the most important differentiations. When we people in the media and advertising world, it's easy for us to come to the client and just sell media. But we take it to the next level by working with our partners on the 3Ps, we call it, right? Product, price, promotions. That's very important. Plus the advertising, of course. Third is the logistics. And of course, to close it all up with the payment solutions. So we kind of integrate this entire ecosystem end-to-end to make it work for our brand partners.
Wow, that's very interesting. So speaking about like your own personal experience of doing all of these marketing solutions for yourself, for your small business as well, how do you see it with your real merchants, for example, for Gojek, starting like from, so everyone here can relate from having like small businesses or even like big brands, how they can really make use of it, because maybe not everyone is already doing these marketing solutions, not knowing like how it works or what are available, and maybe they want to try out, but seeing like what are the successes from other brands, how it can really help the real case studies.
Okay, in Gojek, right, we have lots of cases, obviously, from small merchants who are growing with us, and then big merchants as well as big brands like FMCG and such. But if I want to tell the stories, then we'll be staying here all night.
It will be.
But I'll focus today on one success story. So in Gojek, we're not only providing online digital solutions, but also offline. So we do online to offline, offline to online solutions. So we recently did a campaign with Woods Lozenges, the candy.
Yeah.
Where they wanted to launch a new variant of their product, and then they want to build awareness around the product. They want to increase the transaction for that specific product, right? So what we did with them is we provide solutions online to offline.
Yeah.
So first we determine what kind of audience that we want to engage. back then we decided that it would be, you know, people who are active using GoPay, people who are active transacting in Alfamart, and then people who are interested in buying candies. And then these audience segment, we target them using social media.
Okay.
And then once they see the ads, they can click it, and then they can go into our voucher page where they can redeem the voucher in Alfamart by buying the Woods product. So we did this, and the result were very fulfilling for us. We saw about 31% conversion rate, which is about 1.5 times higher than our average benchmark. And then by doing this, these new variant of Woods became, it grew to 32% of overall Woods sales.
Wow. Yeah.
So as a new product, it's a very encouraging number. And the sales of Woods in general for all variants in Alfamart grew for about 23%. So it's a very high jump. Yeah. So what we want to convey is that we provide all kinds of solutions tailored to your needs, right? So it doesn't have to be all full online.
Yeah.
But if you have needs in offline, we can provide that as well.
Is it also integrating the both Gojek marketing solutions online and offline, or that time it was online, purely online?
No, it was integrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Great. And how about you, Edwin?
Okay, being mindful of the time, so I'll tell this story real quick. Yeah. In Tokopedia, we are a self-serve platform, right? By default, right? We have millions of advertisers on the platform. But for my team, we specifically manage around, you know, almost 1,500 managed brands every single month, right?
Wow.
And I think there's one story that I want to tell today, which for me, it's a great story to tell. I cannot tell the brand name, but basically it's a local local F&B brand, you know,
nice.
healthy products and whatnot, right? So when they came to us, right, at the time they were a brand that nobody knows about, nobody cares about, right? And even if they go to other platforms or whatnot, they get turned down because they're small, nobody cares about them. But when they came to us and we offer our help to optimize their campaigns, to help set up a better store, you know, better product, price promotions and whatnot, their brand grew to become one of the largest and most successful F&B health brand on the platform, and now they're pretty much everyone know, I'm sure if I mention the name. So that is powered with using our marketing solutions, right? From the performance, considerations, upper funnel, reach, high impact, whatnot. So I think that is the thing that we're proud most. So every time they're using our solutions, it's the amount of investment compared to the amount of I would say a GMV they generate can be double or triple. So I think that's amazing.
Wow, yes. I've been seeing actually a lot of like local brands we haven't heard about and suddenly just very aggressive doing all this on every e-commerce or on-demand platform as well. And it's very, very interesting to see like all of those newcomers and increasing like crazy. And of course, it's all because of the marketing solutions that has to be very personalized and very measurable, as you mentioned before, right? But unfortunately, would love to talk more about that and to dig up like a lot more case studies, but we don't have more time. So thank you very much for your time, for sharing everything.
Thank you MMA for hosting.
MMA.
Thank you MMA Global Indonesia. Thank you everyone.
Thank you very much once again, Pak Edwin, Ibu Diaz, and Ibu Mutia. We'd like to invite you to take a picture first. Panelists, thank you so much for such an eye-opening discussion. I'm sure that everyone is so excited for our next sessions. That is amazing. And